Ernie Bauer here at CSIS. We're here for a conference on the U.S. Australia alliance, and we're lucky to have Communications Minister Malcolm Turnbull with us. Thank you for joining us, Malcolm.
Great to be here.
By the way, Minister Turnbull is a Rhodes Scholar, a minister, parliamentarian, investment banker, and grandfather. So he is multi-talented. I wanted to talk to him a little bit about some of the issues that influence the alliance and what's going on in Australia. And I think the first thing we wanted to ask is, how can the U.S. and Australia increase their competitiveness in the knowledge economy?
Well, the key thing is knowledge, isn't it? If Australia and America want to retain their position as prosperous, developed economies with high wages, with generous social welfare systems, then you need to have a strong economy. And that strong economy in a globalized, converging world has to be based on cutting-edge technology. It has to be based on being smarter, faster, more competitive. Average is over, to give you the title of quite a good book on the topic.
There are threats that come with a digital economy, the internet. Do the United States and Australia work together on cybersecurity, and how do you see the cybersecurity set of issues impacting a digital economy?
Well, cybersecurity is a gigantic topic. The short answer is we work very closely together. We are part of the Five Eyes intelligence sharing and cooperation network with the United Kingdom, Canada, and New Zealand. But it goes a lot, it's a gigantic topic.
Do you detect a difference between Australia's measuring of the sort of balancing of safety versus security, sorry, privacy versus safety, and the American interpretation of that?
Well, there are some constitutional issues here, but I think broadly speaking the debate is very similar. I'd have to say the Manning leak followed by the Snowden leak should be giving enormous cause for concern. Here, certainly it's given enormous cause for concern among America's allies, including Australia, because there's obviously quite a lot of our information was revealed. But it goes a lot further than that. I mean, the vulnerability of corporations, of intellectual property, the vulnerability of computerized networks, and basically, if you assume we are living in a world of the Internet of Things, into a networked machine age, where every device will be connected to the Internet in one form or another. There is a sense, I think, in many people's minds that technology is running ahead of policymakers and leaders' ability to manage it. There is a very big problem, I think, in government and in business. When I say a big problem, I think it's a gigantic problem, in that far too few chief executives in the public or private sector understand the nature of the network devices they're using, the nature of the computer systems they're using, and they're leaving that to a chief information officer or a chief technology officer. And so they're not actually aware with the level of risk that they are taking on, or aware of the levels of security and the implications thereof that they should be undertaking. So it's the message out of Snowden, and it's a message that should have been heard a long time ago, in the boardrooms and cabinet rooms of the world has to be, you can no longer say, oh, I don't understand this stuff, it's all too new for me. If you can't understand, responsibility. Yeah, if you can't, that's like saying you can't read a balance sheet. Right. This is something we have to understand. We have to make it our business as leaders to understand technology very, very well.
Let me ask you one last question. You've been in the United States for several days. We're talking about the alliance. What are the sort of headline impressions that you have after talking to some of our top entrepreneurs, our top policy people? What's on the top of your mind as you go back to Australia?
Well, in terms of the alliance, I don't think it's ever been stronger.
Yes.
It's a very, very close bond. Australians feel very comfortable in America and vice versa. but it's important to put an effort into it. It's as Jeffrey Bleish was describing it as like a marriage, and one of the things about marriages, as all married people know, is that you've got to make a commitment, and you've got to make an effort and put that time in. So I think conferences like the one you've held here are a very important part of that. I think that the need to be competitive, the need to focus on skills, the need to focus on getting more people to study STEM subjects, science, mathematics, technology type subjects in both schools and universities is a very keen issue. We have to remember that we are in the globalisation has got some very significant consequences for us.
Yeah.
It means that there are countries, many countries around the world, in Asia in particular, which used to compete with us for low-skilled, low-wage jobs are now competing for high-skilled jobs but at much lower wages, and often in a much more efficient way. Added to that, the internet has meant that many jobs and services and industries which used to be non-traded, take retail for example, it's a classic example, have become traded sectors. Mm-hmm. So in other words, we are in all of us are in a much bigger pond. The range of competition is much greater, which of course gives us more scope to compete, but it gives everyone else more scope to compete with us. Hence the need to be smarter, faster, leaner, more efficient. You cannot afford to be complacent if you want to remain a high wage, high benefit, developed economy of the kind and society of the kind that we value. Now, I think the good thing about Australians and Americans is that they are very rarely into self-delusion and self-congratulation. We don't want to go the other way and start running ourselves down, but we've got to remember that the finishing line of the race is always receding. You have to just keep on racing, keep on getting better, and that, of course, in today's world means, as I said, smarter, more competitive, more cutting-edge technology. That's absolutely critical.
Time to raise our game together.
Indeed.
Malcolm Turnbull,
thank you
very much for coming to CSIS.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.